Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Stacking Perpetrator here. This video is going to be part 4 of my organization of my slab part of my collection in order to have it ready to be cataloged. I'm also doing some reorganization and I'm removing some coins from my permanent collection and I'm moving those over into boxes to be sold because of certain situations and label designations that I do not agree with. I was going to, as I build my ASE collection, I'm only 2 coins short. That's the 95W and the 19 Enhanced Reverse Proof, or the ESRP. And when I started my ASE collection and I started putting it together, I started with the bullion coins and I got my main album set. Has all the bullion, it's caught up, and it also has the burnished coins. I even have, for the burnished, I even have the 2008 with the reverse of 7. I have that. Bought that in the slab because I wanted to verify its authenticity, and it wound up being a little cheaper than getting a raw coin when I purchased this one. It is only an MS69. I did not care about the grade. I just wanted the coin itself. I wanted to have an example in my collection. One thing I thought about doing, and I started on this venture, was because the coins have been minted in Philadelphia, San Francisco, and the West Point Mint. So far, there's been no records of any being minted in Denver, but the only way to know, because of how the mint has got this process down pat, looking at the coin individually, there's absolutely no way, there's no die markers, there's no way to absolutely guarantee that a raw coin with no designation to it, you just happen to get a raw coin. There's no way to determine by looking solely at the coin as to whether to determine which mint it was minted at. The entire monster box with the straps and paperwork has to be sent to a grader in order to get, like on this one right here, this 2019, in order to get this designation in the parentheses that this was struck at the West Point Mint, the entire monster box with the straps and the paperwork had to be sent to PCGS, and they had to cut the straps, and therefore they verified and gave it the designation. If this coin ever gets out of this slab and away from this label, solely by looking at the coin, obverse or reverse, there's absolutely no way to tell or prove that this was West Point. So if the slab ever gets destroyed or the label gets destroyed, there's no way to get it recertified that it was from the West Point Mint. That's one thing I do not agree with. And I seriously thought about going all the way back and getting a slab with the designation all the way back to 86 all the way present, and have from the Philadelphia, the San Francisco, the West Points, and have all of those in my collection. I have since decided against that because I don't, it just, to me, that's kind of like a gimmick. I know there's people out there that are buying into this. They only buy first strikes, and that's mainly what this video is about, is the first strike designation. And I know I'm going to ruffle a lot of feathers within the slab community that chases these labels, but first strike is absolutely meaningless, and I'll explain why. And I will, if you want to make first strike, I will give my opinion on how the grading companies and the mint working together could make first strike meaningful and thereby worth the extra money to pay for first strike. Now, I do have a bunch of first strikes, and that's just, I did not pay extra for these. Most of what I have got on the cheap. I did not pay premiums to get these. I know the 2020 Philly was bringing, the 70 was bringing some good money. At one time, I have a 69, and then I have the San Francisco emergency release 69. I do not agree with the emergency issue part either. I will also explain that. But let's go back to the first strike. The main reason I do not agree with the first strike, that to me is meaningless, is because right on the back of the slab, and this is the 2019, I think they've since removed this. Let's look at the 2020 first strike. Yeah, they removed that saying, but I think the rules still apply according to their website. But this statement right on the back of the slab says delivered within the first 30 days of initial release. I don't care what you say first strike, but because of this on the back of the same slab, you see a first strike, and I'm turning around, there's no foolery here. First strike, turning around, it was delivered to PCGS within the first 30 days of initial release. Okay, now let's talk about first strike. It was delivered within the first 30 days. Let's take a die pair, the obverse and the reverse, I don't know, the anvil and whatever the dies. Let's take that die pair in general. Brand new, never struck a coin. They inserted in the press. I don't know the minting procedures. I don't know how long they use a die. I'm pretty sure, because they want to maintain consistency, that the dies are not run for a while and then refurbished and put back into commission, because they strive. This is one of the things the mint is really good at, is having consistency. No matter which mint mints the Silver Eagles, they have a consistency to where you cannot tell solely by looking at the coin as to which mint the bullion versions were minted at. The only ones that you can verify are the ones that actually have the mint mark on the reverse of the coin. This happens to be this burnished, and that's why the W is not in parentheses, because it has a mint mark on the coin. So I do not know how many eagles each die pair. I don't know how many they mint before they change out the die and put in a new one. So unlike our normal change that we use every day on an everyday basis, that we use at the grocery store, we use it at various places wherever we shop, or even video games or soda machines or whatever, the coins we use, those dies they run those dies until virtually till they break. They pull the dies out every so often. That's why you get dial file lines in some coins, or you get different aspects on there where the no FGs. That's because they kept cleaning the die and they actually wore the no FG off of one of the Kennedys. It's because they were maintaining the dies and they continued to use them. I am pretty sure, because of the consistency, that I am safe in saying that the mint does not wear out the dies for doing the Silver Eagle, because they work so hard and strive for consistency. And you can see that and I'll show you the three versions, the West Point, the Philadelphia, and the San Francisco. They strive for consistency. Now, let's assume that they've determined that with a brand new die pair, they can mint off 100,000 of these bullion coins, and then they retire the die. Let's just assume it's 100,000. It may be more, it may be slightly less, but just for example's sake, we're going to use that. Now this says first strike, and it says delivered within the first 30 days. Going back to the first strike, is this coin the first coin, the first 10 coins, the first 20 coins? Is this the 90,000th coin? Was this the last coin that die pair struck? Was this the last coin that die pressed to make this coin, and then they retired the die? Who knows? You tell me. There's no way to know. But we're giving it first strike. Well, the first strike is meaningless because if it's the 100,000th coin off of that die, then it's not a first strike. First strike would be the early part. So this is what I'm going to say is, you want to impress me with first strike, you want me to pay more money to get a first strike designation, then here's what I'm putting out to PCGS, NGC, Annex, and any other grading service. If you really truly want me to pay more money for first strike, and you want me to believe in the first strike, then here's what you need to do. The grading companies need to get with the mint, strike a deal that when a die is first inserted into the press, the very first 500 coins, the very first box, monster box, from that die pair needs to be sealed up. Maybe make a notation on the paperwork, because you know the mint keeps records, that somehow to verify that that box was the first 500 coins off of that die pair. Send that box to PCGS, NGC, Annex, whoever the grading company is. Then I will buy into, and I would be willing to pay more money for a first strike example. That is the only way, the absolute only way I will ever imagine first strike being a meaningful label. This is the only way. Get with the mint. Have them, when they put the dies in, record it. They don't have to film it or whatever. They just have to document it, that first 500 coins in that monster box were the first 500 coins pressed by that die pair. Send it over. You can do your MS69, 68, 70s, whatever, but you will have then made the first strike label legitimate, because with just the box being delivered to you so you can cut the straps and grade it, this is meaningless. First strike is meaningless on this. Meaningless. So anyways, I know I'm ruffling feathers here. Let me know, do you strive and hunt down first strike labels? What's your thought on first strike? Am I off my rocker, or do I make a legitimate point that to get first strike, it needs to be verified that those were the first up to 500 coins off of the die pair? When they change another die pair, note it on the paperwork. This is the first 500 coins off of so-and-so die pair. The die pairs are, the dies are serialized. So on the paperwork, it could be, you know, first box and have the die pair numbers. That to me would give 100% legitimacy to the first strike. So PCGS, NGC, Annex, anybody from y'all listening, take that into consideration, because I will never ever pay extra for first strike on one of these coins. I won't do it. I will wait for these to come over the counter at my LCS, who understands the same thing. They don't believe in the label either, and they throw these out as you know, at discounted prices. So anyways, let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you on another video where we will talk about the emergency issues that I showed, the 2020 and the 2021. So let me know your thoughts down below, and we will see you next time.